Alrighty, come on, let's speed it up here. We gotta get through this quick. Hello, this is The Social Distance, and it is Friday, April 24th. I am your host, Israel Rodriguez, and today we are just going to jump right into it. Today's guest is the friend that I have known for the longest, and though I see him some years more than others, talking to him and catching up with him is one of the most natural things on this planet. His name is Damien, and today is seriously just the definition of hanging out. The whole interview just felt like we were in each other's actual presence. To be honest, I probably wouldn't even call this an interview. It was instead just like an easygoing, pleasant, hour-long stroll through memory lane. I had so much fun, and I think you're going to be able to hear it. I do apologize for doing equal amounts of talking as my guest, but every story, every response, it was just so effortless. I felt like I had a co-host or something like that. And though we learn a lot about Damien, we also learn a lot about me. Like about my old YouTube account, Dizzyman4, or how my first name used to actually be my middle name, or how mischievous of a kid I used to be. It was just so cool, and we kept on finishing each other's sentences. I'm telling you, this guy and I just go way back, and we are full of hilarious and overall just lovely stories, lovely memories, and today we will get to visit some of those memories. And we will be doing that via Quarantine Time Journey. Journey. So hop into the Time Machine 5000 and let's travel to the past. And right over here, Lieutenant, we have the Time Machine 5000.
Welcome.
Woo, Captain Israel!
And guest.
Oh, never mind that. That's just Patricia. She's like the Alexa of time travel.
Holy mackerel, Captain. That's amazing.
Oh, yes, it's actually quite something. I programmed her myself, but that's not why we're here, Lieutenant. We're here because we're going on a quarantine time journey.
Well, what does a machine like this run on, Captain?
Lieutenant, this machine here runs on the strongest, most pure substance found on this planet.
And what's that?
Bad ukulele covers.
Remember the way of the world with the sound that we used to find on cassette and 45. And now this little girl, she says the world will make it at all. 800 miles to drive. You got the weight of the world coming down like a mother died. All that you can give is a cold goodbye. The law enforcement's been pressed to survive to the same. The strapped up soldiers will lock you in a cage to die goodbye. For a nickel ride. Oh no, where were you tonight? And how did we get here? It's too late to break it off. I need a relief. The signals are calm, but they don't get me off. I summon you here in my love. You got the weight of the world coming down like a mother's eye. All that you can give is a cold goodbye. Law enforcement and press to survive to the same. The strapped up soldiers will lock you in a cage to die goodbye. For a nickel ride. Oh, where were you tonight?
Alrighty, so I am here with my good friend Damien. And today, guys, we are going on a quarantined time journey.
Journey.
Anyways, Damien, what's up, man? How are ya?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just taking it slow, staying indoors, specifically staying in my room. I really made this my domain. It's starting to smell a different way.
Yeah, before we go into our time journey, I do want to ask you about that. So how are you doing with all this COVID-19 stuff, man? With all this social distancing?
I'd be lying if I say things became very vastly different. But, to me, I was just hanging out with coworkers. I never felt like that was a social thing. But coming to think about it now, yeah, I would go boating every weekend. Every other weekend, we'd designate a house to basically throw a little party in. Now we don't do that. I barely talk to them, over the phone now. But I've just been staying indoors, man, keeping to myself, just walking my dog. And I work from home now, so I'm in my room from 9 to 5:30, and then I get off work, take 4 steps to my left, and then just hang out in bed, watch TV.
Yeah, Damien the other day gave me a call. You talk for a university or something, correct? Or
Yeah, I'm an enrollment counselor for Beep.
for beep,
Or
and
do I-
Damien called me, and I might play the footage here. I'll just have to beep some stuff out. I don't want to put any school on blast. But Damien called me, and yo, dude, you got quite the announcer voice, may I say?
Just calling to see if I can get in contact with you so that we can discuss our next steps in the enrollment process. And if you do have any additional questions on that, please feel free to give us a call back. Yes, yeah, thanks, and have a great day.
I was pretty excited, man. I think you had texted me shortly before I called you, and I just got excited because I had I'm getting myself set up here at home. Since COVID-19, we've been sent to work from home, which is pretty exciting for me because that's what I've been working for, is to get promoted so that I can work from home. But unfortunately, because of this, I get to do that earlier. So I don't know how I feel about COVID-19. It definitely does suck, and it's affecting a lot more people worse than me. And I don't know how to feel about that because I feel bad about feeling blessed to be in a pretty good spot. Does that make sense?
No, I think you want to know something, Damien? I feel like that's a common thing. I've been hearing that there is this general feeling of uncertainty in the air, but I'm talking to a lot of people who are finding a really big positive that's coming out of this. I'm talking to a lot of people who are telling me, yeah, despite what is going on, things are going well for me. But they have the same atmosphere, the same restraint. They don't want to say that they're doing well in a time that people feel like they shouldn't.
Everyone is doing so bad, yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as, be empathetic that not everyone is going through what you're going through, for better, for worse, and be respectful, wear your mask around people and be careful at the stores and when you go out. But I think it's okay to find some sort of peace through all this. That's what I've been doing. I've been taking some walks, taking an extra look at the flowers and just trying to really slow down. And I've been feeling pretty happy, man. I don't think that's a bad thing to feel like you slowed down a bit.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I do want to give some backstory really quick. Damien is probably the longest friend that I've had. We met each other in kindergarten. We went to the same school, Desert Gardens in the valley.
First day.
And how was it again, man? We ran into each other. Literally, we were in the jungle gym.
Were we in the jungle gym?
Or I don't
remember. We were in
remember.
the line. But the jungle gym probably makes more sense, or running around the monkey bars. I knocked my head into your teeth, and then you lost a tooth in my scalp. Your mom came and saw both of us. I'm pretty sure you were crying. I don't think I was.
Oh, yeah. My tooth was in your head.
And we've just been friends ever since. I think that's when we met. I did have a crush on Celeste, who was your best friend at the time. At that moment, you guys would just hang out by each other. I could have sworn she was your girlfriend.
Dude,
if I had any sense of what that meant.
I don't even remember that, Damien. That's so funny. I totally forgot
I
about
remember
Celeste.
Celeste. Yeah, we would play house with her, and we would be her dogs.
Don't tell everybody that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I guess I remember playing house, and I don't remember being the dog. I remember being an important member of the of the family. I thought I was like the father or the older brother at the very least, but I didn't remember being the dog.
You might have been the father. You know what? I might have been the one that was a dog, just trying to butt myself into your
No, I
guys'
mean,
relationship.
it could make sense. Maybe I was the dog. I don't want to say that I dislike dogs, but I'm not the biggest dog person, and maybe that's why, man. Maybe because I have this weird trauma from being the dog in kindergarten.
Not getting the respect you needed. I remember she would tell us, like, get off the counter or whatever. Whenever we would get off of our knees to, like, stand up and, like, play on the counter, she'd be like, no, down.
Dang, kindergarten was
And we would just bark, dude. Yeah, wow, they really put us in our place.
This episode is the tell-all right here. And then we met in kindergarten. We broke my teeth, and I broke your scalp. We were kind of friends.
We definitely became really good friends, to the point where if you ask your mom how many times you would go home crying or mad and say that you're not my friend, or tell them that we're not friends anymore, and she would tell you it was like almost every day of school, where we would be really good friends, and then we would essentially break up by the end of the day, and then come back the next day like nothing happened.
And then years later, I started listening to sad bands like Death Cab for Cutie, and it's probably because I was always breaking up with you as a friend, dude. My bad.
Yeah, and some would call that a toxic relationship.
I'm so sorry, David. I've totally changed. This is actually why we're going on this time journey. I just wanted you to see the redeeming qualities, man, that I have.
Yeah, we'll see.
We hung out in kindergarten, and we hung out a little bit in the first grade, and then I feel like I just never saw you in the second grade, right?
Second grade, I went to a different school.
Yes.
You were, I want to say you stayed in De Anza from first grade. No. You went to Washington in first grade, and so did I. And then you went to De Anza, and I went to Harding.
No, I stayed in
Washington
third grade in the second grade, and then
what?
Yeah, point is we went to different elementary schools in the second grade, and when you're that young, a year is like an eternity. So I was like, well, I guess I won't see my friend Damien anymore. That's that.
Move on.
I
cried, man. I remember crying. I remember your name was Caesar, and I cried. And then when we had the same class again in third grade, I was like, who's this guy? Who's this Israel that I don't know of?
Yeah, that's a whole nother story for sure. I don't think I've told that story here on the podcast, but when
no one knows of your traumatic past.
Everyone who knows me sees that my on my driver's license I have a different name because I couldn't find the updated birth certificate. But yeah, before my mom got married, I had a different last name as well, and my first name was Caesar Israel, and then I remember it was in kindergarten or the first grade that my mom got married. I remember her asking me, hey, your last name's going to change to Rodriguez. Did you want to go ahead and change your first name while you're at it? I guess is what I honestly don't remember how the story goes, but I just remember because I was so young and people would call me Caesar Salad. I hated being called Caesar Salad. So I was just like, yeah, of course I want my name to be changed because I hate Caesar Salad. Then I became Israel Caesar instead of Caesar Israel. And it wasn't a big deal to me, but I mean, that I pretty much named myself.
You did.
That's kind of a big responsibility to give to
a kindergartner. Yeah. This is your whole identity.
Based off the premise that I didn't want to be called Caesar Salad, I think that's just such a funny thing to be making those types of decisions. But anyways, jokes on them now. I love Caesar Salad. And, my mom still calls me Cesar if I'm in trouble or if she just wants to get my attention. So, yeah, fun little fact there. That was funny, man. And that's a crazy viewpoint. So the next time I saw you... Okay, so, sorry, if we skipped over detail... So I didn't see you for second grade, and then comes third grade, and we sit in groups of 4, and this dude's like, hey, do I know you? And sure enough, it's Damien, and I hadn't seen you in like a year and a half. Dude, this was crazy, right?
That's very serendipitous, man.
It was absolutely serendipitous. I remember telling my mom, like, oh my gosh, guess who I saw right now?
Yeah, and who decides what school district you went to? I thought that was based on where you live. And you know what? I think it's because you guys did move.
I think you're right. I did. You're absolutely right. I think I did move to a different house around that time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I would always just be moving around. I never stayed in one spot for more than a year because landlords would not like my mom very much. So as soon as the lease was up, we're moving to a different place.
Oh my goodness, dude! There's already so much time traveling happening, but we're gonna get to all these places right now. We're gonna time travel there, you guys. But I just want to introduce you guys a little bit to Damien, my good buddy Damien. So, anyways, let's get ready to time travel, dudes.
All right. Do I need to press any buttons here?
We had the same 5th grade class, did we not? Or
Yeah, we did. We sat in the back. It was you, me, Julian, and Jaime, and we were like so noisy.
oh my gosh!
We were
Okay,
very
so
good. It was.
dude, we were so bad in that class.
We were so bad, and the thing is, she didn't want to deal with us, so she's like, all right. She's like, I'll cut you guys a deal. I'll let you guys sit together if you get all your work done and you don't disturb the other students, so you have to be quiet. We would draw targets on like pieces of paper, poorly drawn targets, put them on the floor because it was all carpet, and then just shoot pencils down. And we did that throughout like just the classroom.
I totally forgot about that pencil target game. We would just put it on the floor and drop pencils all day.
And just drop them.
Jaime would bring like his video games, and we would just all play video games in the back, like our Game Boys.
Would, because I didn't have any Game Boys. I would have to borrow yours.
Oh, I hated when you borrowed mine.
I know. You made it. You like avoided it every time. I was like, "Can I borrow your Game Boy Advance since you got your Game Boy SP or SD or whatever it was called?"
I didn't like to share. I'm sorry, man. I would let you use my Game Boy now. I actually have a Game Boy right here in arm's reach. Like, watch, check it out.
I heard that one. Yeah.
Yep. And it's all you, buddy. You can use it now. Anyways, so that was when you moved to Brawley. Wow. See, I must have just blocked that out of my head. So one day you were there and one day you weren't in 5th grade?
Yeah. I said goodbye. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's like on a Wednesday. And I get to the office and it's like child services.
I was talking about Brawley. Brawley is a town that was like 20 minutes away from El Centro. And they're both considered the Imperial Valley, but I lived in El Centro, and that's where I knew Damien from, was in El Centro. And then one day, apparently in the 5th grade, I don't remember, but Damien just had to leave to Brawley, which was about 15, 20 minutes away. But at the time, that was a whole planet, man.
That was a whole, you have to, if you're going to go to Brawley, that's at least a weekend, right? You leave Friday, you come back, Sunday night.
Try to help me fill in the gaps again.
So like you would come visit me, I guess a lot less, but I think it was just easier for you guys to just drop you off for the weekend instead of having me over for like a full week.
Yeah, I'd be there for the weekend, and I felt like it was a vacation. I remember going to go see you, and then your grandma would always make like the best food.
Oh, dude, she made the best food. It was all simple, man. She literally, when you were there, all you would probably eat was like beans and then
beans and tortillas
pancakes in the morning.
Yeah, that's all I remember is just the essentials. That's how I grew up too. Was just beans, tortillas, pancakes in the morning. Exactly. But I remember it just having the same like motherly love that my family would put into the food.
Yeah, no, my grandma loved you. She probably loved you more than me when you were coming over.
You would tell me that, but I mean, maybe because I was younger and she spoke a lot of Spanish, so I didn't really... I understood Spanish, but I think she spoke it a little too fast for me, so...
Yeah.
I was just intimidated.
And that's why your grandma loved me. When I would visit, she'd just speak in Spanish. I'd be just talking right back at her.
Yeah, I think my grandma... if my grandma saw you, she would be so happy. My whole family, dude, just remembers you. You were there all the time. And then I think my grandma really did love you because you would always eat her food. I think that's like the number one way to grandma's hearts, to any grandma's heart, any Hispanic grandma at least. You eat their food and then they love you. My grandma was so happy because you were always eating her food. But it's okay because I was always eating your grandma's food too. But anyways, in Brawley, I remember, there was a corner store. There was a corner store around your house. I remember going to that corner store.
There was a store like 3 minutes away walking to a minute if we ran. So sometimes when you would come over and we're watching like something on TV, we would run to the store. It was you, me, and my two brothers. We would run to the store, get like chips and a 2-liter, and just run back.
Yeah, we would get the bolis, the ice creams, and there was
we would get frozen ice creams. We would just go there like 2 or 3 times a day, man.
Those were the
Just
best
around the
times.
back.
I love that you live so close to something like that.
Yeah, because your parents would give you like $20 just to like spend or something.
Yeah,
or you would have like money saved
let's
up.
go get snacks. I know. I could have been a millionaire had I not bought all those bolis.
Well, we would come back, and then I think one of the times it was shortly after my birthday. You came stacked from a sale at GameStop, so you ended up bringing a couple games for the GameCube. I don't know if we didn't. No, we did have a TV at the time, but it was so old that it didn't have the RCA cables, or I think that's what they are, the yellow, red, and white ones to connect to the GameCube. What we did have was this karaoke machine.
This is my favorite story, dude. I think this is like probably one of the top 3 memories that come to my head every time I think about you and just all the fun times we had. Sorry, go ahead and explain it to the listeners. I just wanted to point that out.
With minimal equipment. So we always really just worked with what we had, man, and we made the best of it. So my aunt had bought us this karaoke machine that had a screen on it. And this screen was literally just there so that you can see the words that are coming out or whatever. And it was like this all-in-one entertainment system. It had the big speakers. It had I want to say it was like a 4-inch by 4-inch screen, if not, maybe 3.5. It was a very tiny screen. And it was black and white only because who needed colors when you're singing karaoke?
It was black and white too.
It did have the connection, so we were able to connect the GameCube there, and it was just it was us 4 huddled around a tiny screen, and we would play Super Monkey Ball on that screen. We would play Super Smash Brothers, Melee on that screen. We ended up later getting an Xbox, and then when you would come over, we would play Halo split screen on that screen. So everyone had like a 1-inch by 1-inch screen. And I'm pretty sure at some point we were all touching faces.
Yeah, so everyone
get closer to the screen.
Here's the image. It's 4 of us. It's me and Damien's 2 older brothers. And I'm spending the night, I'm spending the weekend in Brawley. And the only TV, or the only thing that they have that works as a TV that we can plug our GameCube into is a karaoke screen that is this tiny little karaoke screen as big as a Game Boy screen. It was so tiny, and it was in black and white, and that's the only thing that we were able to plug into, and we were playing 4-player mode, so the screen was divided even further down. And yeah, dude, that was such a blast. You're right. I think there was no personal space for sure. We were all just trying to beat each other in the game. That's probably why I have to wear glasses now.
Dude, I realized this year, after finally getting insurance, I was like, all right, well, I'll just, get the basics done, run a quick health check out my eyes, check out my teeth. Turns out I have astigmatism. And the optometrist said, he's like, yeah, you probably had this your whole life. Just no one really, cared to check.
Yeah, the doctor was probably like, did you ever play Super Monkey Ball on a karaoke screen? And you're like, oh my God.
You're one of these kids. All right, here's what we're going to do.
It appears that we're running out of fuel, Captain.
Indeed it does.
What are we going to do, Captain? We need to get home.
Well, we do have one bad ukulele cover left, but it's really only half, and I don't think it might work.
If there's a chance, Captain, we got to try. I haven't seen a single toilet out here.
You're absolutely right, Lieutenant. Then here goes nothing, and may the Time King have mercy on our soul.
My baby don't mess around because she loves me so. I know for sure. But she really wanna kiss and see me on the couch. try to fight the feeling you thought alone is killing me right now. Thank God mom and dad are sticking together because we don't know how.
When you were going to my house after school all the time, when was that?
That was 4th grade and 5th grade.
4th and 5th grade? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then we would go home.
I remember going to your house, I think in 1st grade too, even though we had different teachers. We would still hang out at recess and play like freeze tag.
Yeah, I don't remember too much of 1st grade, but I remember when we would hang out and then we would watch the Roses music video, the song Roses by Outkast, and we would try to memorize the whole music video because it was so cool. Yeah, you always wanted to be Andre 3000 and I wanted to be Andre 3000, but you were obviously the better actor, so I was at a disadvantage. It wasn't fair, but I always wanted to be Andre 3000. I don't know if I ever told you that, but I got to get it out of my chest now. Get it off my chest.
You know what? I would have never guessed because I think back then you were a little bit more into like rapping. So you were always doing like the big boy stuff. Big boy. I'm not saying that you're doing like big boy things. I'm saying big boy, the character. Or the,
no, big boy, the rapper.
Artist.
You know, I got you. Thanks, man. Thanks for clarifying that for the listeners. You weren't gonna let me get away with it, huh?
You always wanted to be a big boy, yeah.
Yeah. You're doing big boy things now.
Like you would do that rap when he breaks it down in the middle of that song.
Well, because I had to get good at it because you were just a better Andre 3000. You know, I knew what was best for the band. I took that bullet for the both of us, dude.
Man, I really appreciate that.
Dude, okay, I have this really funny memory, and help me find the other piece of it. How about when one day, I think it was like at a school book fair or something, I got this, in a little bag, I got like this sticky eyeball. Do you remember this eyeball, like made out of like some sort of Play-Doh gummy?
It was this thing that like if you threw it at a window or at a wall, it would flatten out.
It would like splat, and then like it would just stick there, and then you would get it out. And then do you remember when I threw it and it got like stuck on the roof, or it got stuck on the wall?
So the thing is, you're supposed to throw it at a wall, and it's supposed to kind of like roll down, right?
Yeah.
And you had these really high ceilings. So what you ended up doing was you threw it at the ceiling. You know, your grandma shot that. You know, so it went really high up. It hit the ceiling, and then we were just waiting for it to come down, and it never came down. And then
my
one
mom
day,
came.
Maybe it was like I want to say it was days later or weeks later.
No, it was not. It was the same day. It couldn't have been.
Did she notice it right away?
I feel like my mom would. She has that kind of sixth sense. But that also sounds like some mischievous thing I would do is leave the sticky eyeball hanging on the upper part of the wall for a couple days without telling my mother. That does sound like some conniving stuff I tried to pull.
We freaked out
back in the day.
We freaked out. So we're like, well, maybe she won't notice because it's really high up there. And it's like above the couches, so it's not something that people usually face a whole lot, you know, with that back corner of that living room. And then we're playing toys upstairs or something, and then we just hear your mom. Ezra, what is this?
Did she get mad at you too? Was she mad? I just remember her being super mad, but maybe maybe it was a lot worse than I remember.
No, I mean, I don't know if she took you aside and did things differently with you once I was gone. But I was, anytime we did something, I was equally put to blame, and I was also put like, you're not allowed to play with Israel's toys.
Yeah, my parents got you in trouble sometimes too. I mean, we would do some crazy stuff, but
well, remember when we watched WrestleMania at your house and your dad bought like the pay-per-view?
no, I don't. What happened?
You don't.
Dude.
We were watching. I think it was like Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, dude. And we were just reenacting everything we saw. And we knocked over your lamp. Like we hit it and it fell over and it like scratched the wall or like took off some of the paint or whatever. And the lamp just like knocked over and broke. And we just set it up and we just sat there and hoped that your mom wouldn't notice a non-working lamp.
Oh my gosh. I did that, huh?
She was mad.
Dude, and you know, I would not even think about trying to get away with these kinds of things now. And I repress that. You're like bringing up these memories that I hid probably because I was just afraid to let them manifest. Doing all these mischievous things and then trying to not take the
You would just ignore them, dude. Pretend like it didn't happen. All right, let's just put this back up, and that lamp is that lamp, and we're not going to worry about it. But we did, like, we settled down. We just sat there and watched the rest of WrestleMania just sitting on the floor.
Yeah, and we would also play the X-Men game. I remember the X-Men Apocalypse game.
We had a few of them. I don't know if we played, like, I don't know if we had any Marvel games at that point, but I think X-Men might have been one of the other games you gave me for my birthday.
Was it? I
I
don't
know there was a few. It was a bundle. It was Morrowind, where, you know, this was like, I don't know how people like this game. This is what ended up becoming Skyrim.
Yeah,
but
this is
Elder
Morrowind.
Scrolls Morrowind. It was this weird game. I didn't like it. I liked seeing other people play it just because it was weird, but I myself would just get bored with it. And then like you and my older brother were playing it late one night, and you guys were just like using a lockpick to nipple twist other villains. And I remember there was like this witch chasing you and just like scratching you. And all you guys had was a little lockpick,
and we were just like
point forward and just twist.
That is so funny.
And I remember she chased you guys down into a lake, and there was like fish that were biting you at that point too. So you guys had just ended up dying. But we were making so much noise because it was just yelling and panicking that my grandma would come in and shut us down. And so what we would do then, because my grandma, you know, old soul, she would go to sleep at 6 p.m. and wants the whole house quiet. I don't know if you remember this. We used to play hide and go seek in the dark.
Yeah, I was about to say that. And sometimes we would put like something over our head, right?
Yeah, we would blind one person and then just, you know, let them loose in the house, try to find other people. And it specifically sucked for you because you didn't know the layout of the house at all.
Yeah, sometimes we would go to like the biggest room, just turn, like, it'd be completely dark, and then we would put like a purse.
We would block out the lights. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd put a purse on someone's head, and then they would just have to find, and that's dangerous within itself, putting a purse on someone's head.
Well, the thing is, we would darken the rooms so you couldn't see anything but like maybe minor shadows moving, unless you were like, unless that's all in your head. But then the person who was wore like an extra layer of blindness. So then like you really couldn't see where you were going or who was coming after you.
Yeah, man, those were the times.
That was one of the funnest games I played, man.
Yeah, those are definitely some precious memories that I have.
We would also, I don't know if you remember like pestering my grandma, but we would try to, we had this game called I'm Gonna Go Tell Grandma, where one person randomly says that and then books it from the farthest room in the house to my grandma's room. And the goal, your goal was to basically get into the room and say hi to my grandma. And the goal of everyone else who heard you say that you're going to tell, my grandma, was to stop you. So sometimes we get to the hallway, you're about to touch the doorknob, and then like my brothers would tackle you and drag you back.
I vaguely remember this, Damien. I vaguely remember I feel like I remember being in the hallway and be like, I'm going to tell grandma. And I do remember being dragged by by
quietly, and then like my grandma would just yell, "Who's out there?" And then we just stay quiet and wait for it to like pass, and then just continue dragging you back.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember being so loud around your grandma. I felt like I was shy around her, but apparently I was yelling at her.
You didn't care. Once we were all playing, you didn't care. Maybe in direct contact, like if she's in the room talking to you, you might have shied out a little bit, but just like in general in the house, nah.
Dude, I don't know what happened because now I feel like I'm just so shy. I would definitely not be getting myself dragged through your house if it were me now. What happened, man?
I don't know. I think we just weren't really worried about anything. We were just having fun, man. Having fun at everyone else's expenses. The lamp, the eyeball, my grandma, peace and quiet,
Well, when you put it like that, man. Alrighty, so we need to talk about Dizzy Man 4. When we were growing up, and what age was this, man, that we got into this stuff?
I must have been like 12, solidly, or turning 12. I think your dad brought out his handy cam.
Was that
out of his room or out of the office, like the Sony camera that you guys had, or Panasonic or whatever?
Yeah, no, my parents had like the coolest camera at the time, but now thinking back, it was like the biggest piece of machinery that we had in the household. It was a huge camera, I think. I don't remember too well, but
well, the one they used for like the home videos, it was the big one, and then since technology moved, you were able to record on these tiny little micro cassettes.
Oh no, I remember like I saved up a bunch of Christmas money to get that camcorder that used those micro cassettes. I invested a good amount. We were gonna be famous. I was so determined.
Yeah, dude, we were working at it too at a very young age without any help from like anyone. I mean, all your parents said was don't stay out too late. That was a tangent. So one day we decided to film the I guess the second music video thing that we did, which
was that the one where we were all at a park and then we were like just with our friends Jaime and Julian.
Yeah, they helped. Well, they met us there, I think, didn't they?
They met up with us, and I think they were really excited because we were starting. This is our second video, and we were like, "Yeah, dude! Like, look at we can make music videos and be super cool and famous." And so I remember they were so stoked to be a part of our music video, and I was just excited to have my friends there too. So I remember us thinking, "Okay, what if we had Welcome to the Jungle, and we just do a bunch of stupid stuff at the park?" We were pushing each other. We were filming a duck that had an afro.
Afro Duck. I completely forgot about that, man.
How can you forget about Afro Duck, man?
That was the whole point. That almost became our logo, wasn't it?
I wanted to be represented by Afro Duck. I did.
Yeah.
I wanted that to be like our mascot for sure. I wanted to claim Afro Duck. And I'm not sure if it was multiple ducks that had just a similar afro.
It was just one at Buckland Park. Years later, more came out, but it was just that one duck.
Years later, they're like, I want my hair to look like that guy's. And the little duck barber was like, you got it. And we brought a whole duffel bag of like random stuff. Do you remember that?
Props, yeah, props. We brought props, dude.
Props. There you go. I knew there was a better word for that.
We used my Harry Potter books that I had brought to your house to read. To prop the camera up on like a hill, one of the hills on Buckland Park.
Dude, don't lie to me. You never read Harry Potter. Wait, really quick. Are your Harry Potter books? Like, do you still have them? Did you take them? Because I think I have Harry Potter books in my house.
Those were probably mine.
Dude, I don't believe you. You didn't read Harry Potter.
I outread my school's library when I was in 6th grade.
You're lame. I don't believe you.
I did. Here. No, I swear I did. And then once I outread all those books because I was at a higher level, they told me, well, you don't have to worry about AR points or reading. So I was like, all right. And then the moment they told me that, I never picked up a book again, dude.
Wait, they just said, hey, you know what, dude? You don't have to worry about reading ever.
Well, they told me.
You're just.
Well, they told me for the rest of the year.
You have to read for the rest of your life.
Well, they told me for the rest of the year.
You've read so much, you're just done, man.
They're like, yeah, man, you're good. You're set. You don't have to worry about it. Just stop reading.
Yep, you're just done reading. Well, not me, man. According to my school, they were just like, please help this child read. But anyways, back to the. Do you remember the idea that we were gonna call it before we came up with the name Dizzy Man 4?
Yeah, it was eye pain.
Eye pain, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you remember or not. It was eye pain, as in like your eyeball, and then pain, as in like it hurts to watch. I still think that's a great idea. eyepain.com and just a bunch of funny videos. I don't know.
Yeah, that were just like, I mean, I think it could be a lot of things, like too hard to look at. It would have been cringe, which now, man, it's still, I mean, it is pretty cringy. So it could still be
like half of YouTube is eye pain. We would have just monetized it.
What we were going to do, though, we were going to involve like a lot of like stunts and playing like on jungle gyms and mostly falling. Because I don't know if you remember that video. I don't know why it's not on YouTube anymore. They probably deleted it.
Wait, which one? The one in the park?
Yeah.
Yeah, they took that one off because it's copyright, because Guns N' Roses didn't want a bunch of 12-year-olds stealing their music. I get it. I don't blame them.
But War was fine.
War's a different story. War was our first video, and what we did was just put on. My father had these stormtrooper / clone trooper replica helmets. And they were just like hanging out in his closet. And then I remember we took them, we just put them on, and we just started doing dance moves to them. And in the background, we put on the song, War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. What? Say it again. Who is that by?
Oh, man, I would not be able to tell you.
Oh, man. Oof. We messed up there. But yeah, we just were dancing to that as stormtroopers, like stormtroopers from Star Wars. Except we didn't even have the whole costume. We just had the helmets on. So it was like...
It was just a stormtrooper with little brown arms and a little brown Hurley's t-shirt.
Yeah. It was like just a brown,
Bacon
little
cookies.
brown stormtrooper. Damien's a lot... And it was funny because you're a lot darker than I. And we were interchangeably the stormtrooper, were we not? Like...
Yeah.
Some scenes you were the stormtrooper, and some scenes I was the stormtrooper. And then in a couple scenes, I think my dad put on another stormtrooper helmet and he danced with us.
Yeah, he did. That was I thought that was the coolest thing ever, man.
Yeah, dude. My dad was rooting for us, I think. Or or he was laughing at us, but hey, at least he danced with us. And you're right, they didn't. That whole music video was about a minute long, a minute and a half, and they didn't take away that video like they did the other one.
The only part or the only audio that wasn't that song was like half a second or like 2 half seconds where we cut to you taking off the mask or the helmet, and we cut to me throwing a balloon at your little brother and him like collapsing onto the floor.
Yeah, those are some deep cuts. We thought it was like all those small things, like those weird small things we thought were going to be like the biggest hit with everybody.
Yeah, we paid attention to like little details, man. Like we went ahead and made we went ahead and we made a MySpace profile, but we kept it on for a week so that we can show footage of previous days of like people commenting, posting pictures, and you zoom in on the computer so that you can see the different dates that things are being like posted on.
Dude, I don't even remember that. That's so I forgot that. Yeah, you're right. It's right in the video too. I just haven't seen that specific video in a long time, but we did make a MySpace. In that war video, we made a MySpace for the character who was wearing a stormtrooper helmet with a child's body. He had a MySpace, that's right. That's weird.
Yeah, and what's funny was that the profile picture that was used was actually a clip, I believe, of the stormtrooper using that computer setting up MySpace.
Yeah, that was the picture. The profile picture on that fictitious MySpace profile was you setting up the profile itself. Yeah, dude, we were on some meta humor there.
That's way before its time, man.
Yeah, and we went crazy with it. Which actually, okay, so then that's great lead into the next video we made, which is one we're gonna play right now. And this one to me was the epitome of Dizzy Man 4. Oh, by the way, let's talk about the name really quick. So we called ourselves Dizzy Man 4. And this is because we wanted to combine our two nicknames. And I was Izzy, and then Damien went by D-Man. And we came up with Dizzy Man.
Except
and of course,
that was already taken. So we had to we went Dizzy Man 1, taken Dizzy Man 2, taken Dizzy Man 3, taken, and then Dizzy Man 4 was available.
Dang. See, I don't even remember that detail. I thought, because I love the number 4. I thought it was just maybe I put number 4, but maybe I love the number 4 because of this. I don't even know, man. Anyways, so we started filming, and then we made this video called The Fight. And we're going to go ahead and watch that right now. And we're just going to play the audio here, so you guys probably might not know what's going on. And there is some other music within this video that, you know, just due for copyright stuff, we'll probably lower and talk over. But yeah, we're gonna watch this, and you guys are gonna hear us watch it, man. Let's watch this guy. I just want to say that this is my proudest work ever. Okay, that's all. You ready, man?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, let's watch this bad boy. Let's go.
So, yeah, those are good. Yeah.
Dude, that voice, man.
Those voices, man.
No, I hate the fries. I don't like.
How did we even come up with that conversation? I think we were just saying like, hey, let's start off with small talk and then gradually go up to fighting about something.
Speaking of bacon cheeseburger,
Did we wing it?
I was thinking what to do.
Because it sounds like we wung it.
We completely wung it. Speaking of bacon cheeseburgers, I was thinking about our next video.
No, wait.
That sounds like a script that I would have written. Anyway, so here I'm mad now because
you've been the star of the first.
You're taking all the thunder, and you're the star of all the videos, and I'm doing a montage. Which, first of all, that's genius.
I'm holding the Harry Potter book in that scene where you push me down.
Yeah, I see this scene.
Okay,
I see the Harry Potter book now, but I guess I just thought that was mine.
With the power.
But you were the main
No,
attraction.
I didn't have
my
the
goodness,
coverage. I knew it was mine because it was just brown.
That doesn't prove anything. You're like.
Dude, I definitely got the Harry Potter book in my house. And you pushed me, and then at this point, I push Damien back.
I am the fame.
And then Damien pushes me even harder. And then I throw a punch.
Yeah, it's one of those boxing punches where the person throws out a bunch of spit. And I remember collecting so much spit for that scene. And you really only see like 2 droplets.
And then my buddy Alex, wearing a CSI t-shirt, walks by Damien's fallen body and throws him $3.
He throws whatever was left of his allowance.
Yeah, and that's it. That was the only. And then Damien comes up and slaps me, and then we just put a giant bam on the front.
Very comic.
Yo, we were memeing before. This was 2008, man.
Yeah, you're right. 1 week.
And so I'm angry at you.
7 days.
Dude, I'm so proud of this joke right here.
I emphasized that I knew Spanish in this scene. Very clutch. And then you do that math bit.
Oh, this one right here is the.
Hey, Israel. What happened? I'm gonna need a ride home.
I'm pretty sure.
One of my favorites.
I'm pretty sure you cut that scene because I thought it was supposed to say like, yeah, let me go ask my mom, and then we left.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I thought that was one of the better jokes.
Can I tell you that I got
think that would fly
jealous
by.
in this scene? I'm sorry. I got super jealous in this scene because when I was playing Guitar Hero, it was just like me in your room, and then when you did it, you had like the fog machine in the back, the strobe lights, the glasses.
I was just trying to compensate because you were the better actor, so I had to. In order to be as good, I had to have a fog machine. So in this scene, there's music playing in the back, and so I lowered it a little bit. But we're training for this big fight by eating cheeseburgers, or we're supposed to be quote training, but we're just sitting on the couches. We're eating cheeseburgers, and I'm drinking like 7-Up, and I think you're drinking like Coca-Cola.
Just Coca-Cola and tacos. So
And
that
so
was training.
now a
was
week of
training.
training's gone by. Dude, why did I look like that? I'm wearing a black t-shirt with skulls on it, and I have like an armband going on.
I'm pretty
I had
sure
a
that was
Rockstar
the sock that you cut up too.
Dude, don't even. I think it was a sock that I cut up. Anyway, so here, Damien pushed me. I got angry, and I pulled out a plastic gun that you buy from like the ice cream man.
The 99-cent store.
99-cent store. And then I just started shooting at you, but the sound effects were so gnarly.
You missed.
I was so proud of those sound effects, though. I was like, this sounds
Me
like
too.
a real
That
gun.
That was the pinnacle of my movie-making career.
I thought at the time that it was like synced up really well with the motion, and I was just so proud of that. Looking at it now, I'm like, this is garbage.
Yeah, so then I shot you, and at first it looked like I missed, and then it turns out that I got you, and then you just dropped dead. And then we had the fake blood, so I guess apparently we ruined a good shirt there. You're right, I could see that it's new.
It's brand new, yeah. It hasn't been washed yet.
And then
I remember being like, it'll
ends.
wash off. And then we took it to your sink, and the blood wasn't coming out, and I was like, oh no.
I'm so sorry. And then, just to top it off, dude, I misspelled your name in the credits. I put Damia. Like macadamia.
I remember telling you about that, and you're like, oh, whoops.
And then okay, I just want to, now this next thing is really important, because as soon as the credits roll by, there's a scene in the end. Yeah, finish it off, dude.
The scene goes, he's, it looks like he's like moving my blood around, or I guess there was this urban legend going around that it was him dipping a French fry in my blood.
An
like
urban legend. Yeah, so at the end of the scene, it looks like the actual footage is of me spreading the fake blood on your shirt, but all we did was just show like a quick flash footage of me spreading the blood on your shirt, and then we just put "to be continued," and then you say, "What are you doing?" and then it says "to be continued." But yeah, all my friends thought I was dipping a French fry on your body, or like onto your blood or something, and all my friends thought that was hilarious, dude.
Honestly, that was probably a better plot than what it actually was.
Yeah, I really would. I actually just rolled with it. I was like, yeah, dude, duh. What else do? You dip French fries in the blood.
Your enemy's blood, man. That's how you show
dominance. Your enemy's blood. But yeah, everyone was thinking like, why'd you dip a French fry? And then they started laughing, and I was like, that's the response I was looking for, so I just went with it. Okay, so what we got here is videos that you would do on your own time. When were you making these videos? Around what time?
It says here 2007. So I was living, or 2017. So I was living in Westmoreland alone, and I was working night shifts. So what that meant was that I was extremely antisocial. I was up when everyone else was in bed. I was asleep when everyone else wanted to hang out. So I lived alone. It was just me and my dog. And so I had built a computer, kept myself busy. I bought a VR little headset. And then I started dabbing in this little game where you jump into characters, or like, 3D animated characters, and you just make these 30-second scenes. And so what I would do is I would make these 30-second scenes, record them on different with different camera angles or whatever, and then piece them together 30 seconds at a time.
So you would just like make your own little movies, and you were every actor.
Yeah. The most you can have in one scene is 3 characters, so I would always try to fill that in.
That's weird. That's awesome. You're a weird, awesome dude, man. All right, you ready? Let's watch this one.
Yeah, count it down.
All right, this one's called Avocado. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, so that's 2 burrito supremes, and we're gonna charge you on the way out. Okay? You have a nice day. Enjoy your meal. Oh, I do believe I will. These are gonna go straight
voices,
to
man.
my thighs. Bye-bye.
I tried making them as different as possible, but to me they all sound like Damien.
Okay.
So I don't know how like these voice actors do it, where they like have these, you know, big voice changes.
Yeah, like right? You'll be like, what? That's the same person that played this person? Yeah, that happens to me all the time. But I feel like I can see that some here. There's you're just kind of bugging him and you're going, the avocado.
The avocado.
The avocado. Where's the avocado at?
Where's the avocado? Yeah. The avocado.
The avocado. And then what does this guy say?
He says el guacamole.
El guacamole.
He calls him Miguel.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't want it.
Just a Twinkie. It was a very chaotic scene.
Yeah.
I really like that it went from like a very casual, nothing's really going on, and then everything just happens. You know, everything's getting thrown at the screen. This dude is like washing dishes or something, or like he's like manning the cash register. He's like, I don't. What's going on? Why are you bringing this?
Yeah,
like,
he wants like no part of this whole avocado tirade, and then it gets brought to him.
It was very, very tedious.
It looks like it would be tedious, man. I mean, those were like a minute long, or that one in particular was a minute long, but the other ones too were around the same length. How long did one of those take you to do?
To act out, it would take me a lot longer because my computer would crash after I recorded one session. So I would set up the scene, save the scene, and then do one recording. And I would want to have like a few different camera angles. So I would do one recording, and when it's rendering it or when it's saving it, the computer crashes. So it resets. I have to reboot it, turn it back on, wait for everything to load, start the program back up, and then record the next, 30-second bit or 30-second camera angle, and then crash it and just, make that process go over and over again.
Dude, you are so committed to the process.
I was, but above that, man, I think it was just because I had nothing better to do.
So, did you learn about this program when you were going to school for this stuff, or?
Actually, that was after. I went to school for digital film. Ask me how I'm using it now. So I went to school for digital film. I actually got kicked out of school because I'm a rebel and no one tells me what to do.
What?
I got kicked
spirit,
out
man.
Circumstantially. I fell between the cracks with one of my enrollment counselors. I had like 40 in one semester, so they didn't really keep up with me. I needed some FAFSA verification. I got kicked out of school because FAFSA decided not to pay for it because I couldn't get verified. And learning about the process now where I work, it was a very, very avoidable problem. I was just, I didn't know the system at all. And those who didn't really care. So I just fell through the cracks and just owed the school directly for a semester that I attended. So like I essentially attended a full semester without paying for school. And then I got kicked out.
Well, it happens, man. We are sent into college without any real life knowledge of how, expenses work, how debt works.
And that's a shocker, dude.
It is a shocker. I didn't learn how to do my taxes, or I still I'm not quite too sure about how my taxes go. But every year I just panic about them for a couple months and
just turn in paperwork that you hope.
And then turn in paperwork, and then and then I cross my fingers. That's it. That's how I do my taxes. So when you were going to school, I actually would love to talk about school, man. Did you meet some great people there at school?
I met pretty solid friends. My roommates, one of my roommates, I started hanging out with his friends, and only because they'd show up and they'd just take over the living room. And then I'd come out and, it's like 9 p.m. I'm in my Iron Man sweats that I cut into shorts because I can't wear pants for some reason. I'm just hanging out. What are y'all doing? And they're like, we're watching, whatever movie. And then I'll just sit down, and I just forced myself to hang out with them. But we all became pretty good friends. So I was always hanging out with a pretty solid group, and they were always inviting. So I met pretty good people. I enjoyed my experience. at the college or at the university. But I don't know where I stand on if I knew that I was going to get kicked out or whatever, if I would do it again, or knowing how much school costs and like how much more efficient it is to go to like a community college and then just transfer out, because that would totally be my plan.
Yeah, that's
financially.
another thing that I remember when I was going to school. It wasn't talked about a lot. Like, hey, go to community college, save this much money. And I mean, I know people mentioned it, but I really feel like the 4-year university lifestyle was really pushed.
It's almost like they were selling that to us.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I grew older,
I
that's
didn't
pretty
really
much
hear about
what
that
it is, you
2-year
know.
plan. But it was also like, if you didn't go to a 4-year college or university, you were a failure.
Oh, absolutely.
To me, that's what it seemed like.
Absolutely. I remember the day that when I told my father, I was like, Dad, I'm not going to go to CSULA because it's too expensive. And he was pretty bummed out. And then he was like, okay, then just go to the college here in El Centro. And then I told him, okay, well, about that, I'm not going to go there either. I'm gonna move to San Diego and start a new life over there. And yeah, he wasn't too happy about that either, but I remember feeling like I had failed in some way because I wasn't doing this or because I wasn't doing that. But that's because they don't tell you, you know? They don't encourage that. They don't say, "Hey, it's okay to think about it."
Yeah, take a year off. Really, really think about where you want to go. Like I had almost no research done on the school I went to. The only reason I went to it was because it had more of what I wanted in one spot. You know, I wanted theater. I definitely wanted to act. I got into it in high school and I loved it.
Dude, you're you're like a natural actor for sure. You're always making all these funny voices, all these crazy. I couldn't even keep up with it sometimes. I didn't know who I was talking to, Damien. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I learned throughout the process, and I'm going off on a tangent again. I learned that if you constantly speak in a low voice, you know, that's how your voice will develop. You know, and the same goes with, like, you start talking low, you'll be able to sing, you know, these low tones. And same goes if you're always talking in like a high voice, you know, your higher notes or whatever is going to go up. So when I was in 8th grade, when I was, you know, making these videos with you, or 7th grade, I wholeheartedly believed that my voice was deeper, because I remember calling your dad and being like, "Hey, is this real there?" "Yeah, this is Damien." And then he's like, "Whoa, Damien, is this you?" "I just heard some man on the phone." And he could have been teasing me, but after that, you know, I kind of broke out of my shell and I started talking higher, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? This is whatever." And I started having like this to me it seemed cooler, you know, surfer vibe type of voice. And you even noticed it one day when I called you. I think it was like after I went to college, and I just called you randomly one day, and you're like, "I almost didn't recognize you, man. You sound like a camp counselor now." Because before I used to always have I always carried this lower, reserved, slightly deeper voice.
And then you just kind of got more comfortable with the voice that was like more natural to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that was a rough landing, but I'm glad to see everyone is okay.
Indeed.
Oh, Patricia, you did wonderful today. Why don't you just power down and take the rest of the evening off? You deserve it.
Thank you.
Woo, Captain Israel!
Powering down.
Dang it, I thought I'd turned that thing off. Anyways, Lieutenant, what'd you think of today's trip?
Well, I can't say I didn't have fun, Captain, but I'm sure glad to be back home.
You know what, Lieutenant? I couldn't have said it better myself. How's about we go get some ice cream? My treat.
Well, that sounds great, Captain. Where shall we go?
Yesterday!
Alrighty, Damien. Once again, thank you so much for going on this quarantine time-traveling journey with me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I didn't expect all these turns to take.
Dude, me too,
I'm
man.
glad we were... I'm glad we got there, and I'm glad we came back.
Yeah, it felt like old times, man. It almost feels as if we've always been on the time machine together, dude. It was a really fun time. You helped me. I felt like I recalled so many things that I totally had forgotten about, dude, and I had a great time. Quarantine is a time to just hit up your homies and go on a freaking time machine together, dudes. You've gone on your journey. You're living in Arizona now, and you've been there for a good year, and we definitely haven't caught up much, but this was a great experience, man. I had a lot of fun. Usually with these things, I learn a lot about the person I'm talking to, but here I was just having a fun time remembering.
That's a good little break.
Yeah, dude, I agree, man. Well, anyways, Damien, I hope you have a good night. I've kept you for a long time, and just thanks for hanging out with us, dude, here on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem. I hope you call me again so that we can do another one of these. I had a lot of fun.
Dude, I do too, man. Maybe we'll fire up the time machine again, and we'll have to go on some more journeys for sure.
For sure.
All right, dude. Well, you have a great time. All right, I'll talk to you later, and thanks for hanging out with us here on the Social Distance.
All right, thanks. Bye.